In this video, I'm going to share with you why trying to be liked by everyone is secretly ruining your life, and how to be genuinely happy instead. The science behind understanding why you're like this, that genuinely barely anyone's actually aware of. And a guaranteed 5-step process to rewire your mind to be genuinely happy that I've personally used and have gotten fantastic results from. And that it's fucking guaranteed to work if you just do what I say. It's as simple as that. Just fucking copy me. So now that I've hopefully piqued your interest, let's get into it. So I want you to begin living your life for yourself and not for others. Because here's a story from my own life. So I went for a walk one time with no technology or anything, just my own thoughts. And I have no idea how, but I caught myself out in some sort of 4D chess moment where I realized what I was thinking about and then the cause behind that. So what I was thinking about how awesome it would be to make 10K a month and to be a pro boxer. And I was thinking of the reactions of my friends, my family, and how everyone would perceive me. So I was thinking about doing all of these things, making 10K a month, working hard on that and being a pro boxer, because I wanted the validation and the respect from all of my friends and family and everyone else. I was seriously going to change my entire life because I wanted some validation and some respect from other people. Not because that was what I wanted, but because I wanted attention and to be perceived in a certain way. So I just want you to note that I hope whatever you're doing in your life, whatever you're achieving or trying to achieve, that it is for you and not for the perception of others. That trying to be liked by everyone can result in you taking a wrong turn in your life. And what does living for others actually cause? So negatively, you're going to pursue the wrong things in life. You're going to make the wrong decisions. You're going to make poor decisions. And your life is going to be worse off because your lens is that of, I want recognition, I want respect, I want to be liked by everyone, I want attention. Okay, I want to hammer this point home. So, person 1 graduates high school and he has anything he wants to do in his life, but all of his friends are going to university and studying programming, for example. And because he hasn't thought for himself what he wants to do, he'll just be like, yeah, for the fuck of it, let's join my friends. I want to be liked, I want to join them, I want to be included. He wants to be accepted and not do what's different. He wants to stay in the group, which isn't inherently wrong, but you'll see what that leads to in a second. 4 years later, finishes the degree, still friends, but a few years later from that, he gets a job in the market. He's worked as a programmer for a few years. He realizes he hates being a programmer. This is literally the opposite job of what he wants to do. He wasted 4, 5, 6 years. And now he doesn't even hang out with his friends because he's miserable. His friends won't invite him. The same people that he did everything for doesn't accept him anymore. So he doesn't have his friends, he has a career he hates, and a life he hates. Or because he followed the herd and didn't do what he wanted to do. And you really think this is such an extreme situation? Where this has never happened before? You're deluding yourself if you think that's never happened before. So, but the other story, person 2. So, same situation, graduates same grades after school, but instead of following his friends, following the herd, and just trying to be included in the group, he realizes, fuck, programming isn't what I want to do. So, he spends a year, tries a few different odd jobs, tries a bunch of hobbies, figures himself out and what he wants to do, and then he lands on he wants to do horticulture. He wants to grow and work in gardens. 5 years later, he fucking loves it. He loves his life. He loves what he works on. He doesn't need those friends. He meets the love of his life in that field. They have the same common interest, and then life becomes so much better. And then as a result, he loves his life. And he lives 100% more fulfilling because he didn't follow the herd. And he didn't try to do shit for other people. This is just one little example of just one branching pathway that can have massive effects in your life. Just because you wanted to be accepted by your friends. Okay, now hopefully you realize you shouldn't live your life for anyone else. But again, why is trying to be liked by everyone a bad thing? Well, if you shift your personality to become more likable to everyone, you want to know what happens? The inverse actually happens. You become not polarizing and not super liked by anyone. You become maybe everyone's friend, everyone's surface level friend. You're like, everyone speaks about you. Oh, I like that dude. He's alright. But you wouldn't actually hang out with them or be genuine friends with them. You'd just be like, yeah, he's cool. Anyway. And also the real friends, the real people who are actually like your genuine personality, they're not going to like you very much. Because when you're your true authentic self, that's when other people who are very similar to you, those people attract, and those people are going to come together, and that's when you find like your best friends. And then since you become less likable, and then unfortunately you literally become less likable because you just don't stand out. You're just a fucking doormat, to be honest. You're just liked by everyone. But you're liked by everyone, but you're not loved by everyone. And want to know something funny? All these people that like you, it doesn't result in anything. Unfortunately, it just results in them fucking leaving and getting pushed out of your life. Like, here's a story from my own life. Like, for me, I used to work at a retail store where, again, I was much the same you were. I cared very much to how everyone thought about me. I wanted to be seen as liked by everyone, and I wanted to be friends with everyone. And that's what genuinely like 50% of my thoughts were about. How to be liked by everyone. I want to be liked by everyone. I was reading books on how to be liked by people, which again, in and of itself, isn't poor or bad, but when everything you do is trying to be liked by everyone, dumbing down your personality, and not being your authentic self, that's going to result in what happened to me. So I had 4 really close friends that I considered fucking awesome. And guess what happened? One of them basically blocked me and doesn't talk to me anymore. The next person, we'd hang out once or twice a year. The next person doesn't talk to me anymore either. And the next person I actually got friend zoned by. So all of that being liked by everyone resulted in one friend that I see twice a year. All of that effort to be liked by everyone results in fuck all. So much of my mental health was destroyed because of that. And then when I realized how much I had lost, honestly, poor little Jacob for those few weeks was a little fucking depressed boy. But when you realize this shit in hindsight, you realize what happened, you learn, you grow, and you fucking don't make the same mistake. It's as simple as that. Like, another downside of doing this, you become a lot more inhibited. Your personality gets dumbed down, as I said earlier. And you just say things that are accepted by everyone. You don't say what you really think. You don't make genuine connection. And then everyone... And on top of being inhibited, you're now less confident because you don't want to stand out. So you're less likely to go after what you want because of the fear of what they're going to think of you. That is a big thing. You're so scared of what others think of you that you don't take the steps or do the things you want to do in life. That's another part of it. So TLDR, you'll be less liked, less happy, less fulfilled. You won't reach your potential, and you just like life less. So hope you understand how big of a thing this is to not try to be liked by everyone and stop inhibiting your own personality. So shameless plug, I do have a course on leveling up your mental health in the description. That sounds awesome. Check it out. If it doesn't, no worries, just continue with the video. Now that you actually understand why it's a bad thing, why we like this, well, first reason is the survival bias. We have a bias towards survival. What the fuck does that actually mean? Well, thousands of years ago, what are we doing? We're tribal warriors living in little tribes, hunting, gathering, making fires. That's our ancestors, that's where we came from. And that is what our biology, our current biology, is actually still wired for. A lot, and I mean a lot, of what we do is still rooted in survival bias. It's genuinely crazy when you realize a lot of our current behaviors are rooted just because our body wants to stay alive, just because of behaviors that we've done in the past, that we have evolved from, that we still have ingrained in our DNA. But how does this actually pertain to trying to be liked by everyone? Well, socially, if we're not liked by everyone, then what happens? If we don't cooperate and, okay, I'll back up a little bit. What are our unique strengths? Aside from our big brains, it's working together and our big brains. We are naturally very communal. We work together towards a common goal. That's how humans have always been. Together, ape strong, ape separated, not strong. And that bias in and of itself is what I mean. If we don't work together, we don't survive. So of course, we're going to be naturally programmed to want to be liked by everyone. Because if we're not liked by everyone, we die out. We die alone. We die by ourselves. We're separated from the pack and we don't live. So it's naturally rooted in our survival bias, in our survival mechanism to be liked by people. This is a bit more of a general reason for a lot of what we do in life, but we're programmed by society to do and be just good fucking workers. We're programmed by school to want to fit in, to be like everyone else. Like, when you're back in high school, how much did you care what other people thought of you? Literally, I know I'm not alone in this. The vast majority of a lot of people's thoughts are, how do they perceive me? I want to be liked by them. I want to be liked by everyone. It's literally just a social game. That is genuinely what high school is, or school in general is for a lot of people. It's just a social game. And when we're growing up in classes of 20, 30, when we're excluded from groups or included in groups, we're naturally inclined to keep this behavior going. It's like, imagine two different societies, for example. The current school system and how you grow up there, and then say an alternate reality where we're programmed to be by ourselves, where we do. Actually, a better example is homeschooled, and people who are exclusively homeschooled. They are going to care, they're going to grow up caring what other people think of them so much less than the people who go to school, because of the experiences they've had at school. School is a school game. School, it's literally just a social game for a lot of people. While being homeschooled, what do they think of? And then finally, you have a deep-rooted need for love, validation, acceptance, and to want to reproduce. These are all inherent feelings that are fucking programmed, they're deeply wired, they're literally our biology, in our DNA, that is how we're wired. We're wired to want to act in a way that gives us love, that allows us to reproduce, that is accepted by our tribe. Because, again, it's wired from that survival bias. If we don't reproduce, we die out. If we aren't accepted by the tribe, then we're excluded and we're going to die. If we don't reproduce, we're going to die without having reproduced. That is literally the goal of organisms, is to reproduce and keep the species going. Down at a fundamental, biological level, that's how it works. That's why and how a lot of species evolve, is to be better at reproducing. So that's how we're going to work. We aren't excluded from this idea. We're not better than them. We have evolved to become better at reproducing. And obviously, fucking humans are better at it than everything else, judging by 8 billion people on this planet. No other animal comes even close to us. Okay, now that you actually understand that trying to be liked by everyone is bad, and why we actually want to be liked by everyone, and how it's actually rooted in the survival bias, how do we fix it? Well, first off, you need to understand, hope you can read my chicken scratch, that you are people pleaser. If you're anything like me, or any of the behaviors that I've said in this video so far is similar to you, you're very likely a people pleaser. And thus you will go out of your way to do random shit to be more liked by other people. And again, it isn't inherently bad to want to do nice stuff for people or want to be liked by people, as I said earlier, but this can materialize in many bad ways. As usually the first step of, I think it's the first step of grief, is like understanding and accepting. So just the first step of this is just opening up your awareness and realizing that you are very likely a people pleaser. And that a lot of the downsides I was talking about earlier, like you're inhibited and you're not being your authentic self, that is likely what is happening to you. Because that's what I did. That's what happened to me. And as a result of fixing my people-pleasing tendencies, I became more polarizing and I'm more liked by people now. Funny how that works, actually, but is what it is. And I'm gonna help you do the same. So I was made aware that I cared way too much of what other people thought of me. So I saw this challenge, Actualize.org has a video on people pleasing that I watched, and that I got the idea of what I'm going to tell you that I did. So I went into a McDonald's. So I went to a McDonald's by myself, and then I went up to the front counter and asked for some free chips. So I went up and said, "Hey, how's it going? Can I get some free chips, please?" And then just looked at her, and then she just looked at me back like I was some sort of fucking idiot. No. Can I get you anything else? Yeah, can I get some free chips? And in that moment, I felt like a fucking idiot. I was like, I'm holding up the line, and I'm making this person look at me like I'm a retard. Why am I expecting free chips? And that is what I had to do. I felt so much friction and like resistance to do that, because that's so out of the ordinary. I'm so in my own head about caring what other people thought that I wouldn't be able to do that. But that's the type of shit you have to do, because that's what you have to do. You have to care a little less on what the strangers think of you. If you're holding up the line, oh well. If you're making yourself look like a retard, oh well. Guess you have to do that. And that is my challenge to you. Go do something stupid like that. And make someone mildly irritated at you. And then stop, feel how you're feeling, and realizing it's not the end of the world, and you can still exist. You're going to feel like shit, and it's going to feel so hard, but in the end you'll be better for it. Doing nice things without anyone actually knowing. So everything you do that's nice, you make sure to tell people. You make sure they know that you've done something nice, because you want to be perceived in that certain way. You want to be perceived as that nice person, and you want the gratitude and their likingness to come onto you. You want the validation. But try this. So what I did, I ended up donating $200 to a cancer charity. I didn't tell anyone, aside from obviously right now. That was around 2 years ago. I told no one that I did that. I just did it. And I sat with the feelings of, that is going to help. That I've just done a good thing. That I don't need the validation from other people in order to feel good about my actions. I can feel good about my actions just because I did them. I don't need that external, the other people, to give me the validation. I can just give myself the validation. It's as simple as that. That is probably the biggest tip in this entire video. Give yourself the validation and you don't need the external. Learn to do that and you will be so much better off. But yeah, main point here, do something nice, but don't tell anyone. Just do the nice thing, and you could literally go put $200 in a, you could literally just go put $50 in an unmarked envelope and put it in someone's mailbox. Imagine how good of a thing that would be to receive. You just got $50, you don't know who it was from, and you're just like, oh, that's so nice. But the key thing is to not tell anyone you did that. And just sit in your own validation that you did this. Because you're a good person. And you don't need other people to tell you that you're a good person. Keyword. Go out by yourself. Have fun by yourself. Keywords. Key operating factors. Yourself and yourself. So, I want you to go out to anywhere, do anything by yourself. Without needing the validation, without needing other people with you. You can just do things by yourself and have fun. You can go out to a restaurant and have a nice meal by yourself and enjoy the food. You don't have to have someone with you. It's not weird. And if other people are judging you, fucking let them. Who cares? You have to care that slightly bit less, because us, as people pleasers, we just fucking care so much what people think when we're so stuck in our own heads that we just don't do things because of what we fear they think. But how many people can't do what I just said? How many people could go to an amusement park by themselves and have fun? To a water park, to have dinner by themselves, go on a holiday by themselves? A lot of people would be too scared. So, I want you to go, within the next week, go do something fun that you typically do with friends by yourself. And just do it despite how you feel. And the last main point is you must truly like yourself. You must be confident in yourself, your ability, and you must genuinely just have a high self-esteem. And I'm going to make a future video, full guide to liking yourself. So subscribe, stay tuned for that. And yeah, anyway, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Like, sub, helps me out a lot. And yeah, bye.